Do you see all these X's? Definitely not what I want to see as a home Bitcoin miner. What's going on, crypto miners, and welcome back to the channel. Well, what is going on here? Well, this is actually an ASIC hashboard, more specifically for my S19 XP that has been living in my home immersion setup, actually my fog hashing immersion setup, for the last, I don't know, year and a half or so. And well, do you see all of these little X's on the board itself? All of these X's are actually bad chips. So rewind back just a few months ago, we actually pulled this out of immersion. It was an absolute mess. Not fun at all. You never really want to pull any ASICs out of immersion unless you plan to never put them back in. And well, we pulled this out because we were getting bad chips reads on the unit itself. And I sent it away to BT miners to go ahead and get looked at for repair. And well, they investigated, got back to me and said, hey, this is not really going to be worth it with all of these bad chips. So I got talking with them, and they actually believe immersion is what actually caused this. More specifically, overclocking my ASIC in immersion, they found is super common to go ahead and actually kill a bunch of these chips. So what am I to do? Where do we go from here? What is my next step? And what has my immersion setup been up to since then? Well, let's go take a look. Sorry to interrupt your video, but I wanted to give a huge shout out to today's video sponsor, BT Miners. If you're in the market for your next ASIC miner, I highly recommend you go over and check out BT Miners. Last bull run, I purchased my Goldshell KD Lite as well as my KD Max directly from BT Miners. And just a few months ago, I purchased my Bitmain Antminer D9 directly from BT Miners team. Just recently, I needed my Bitmain Antminer L7 hashboard repaired, and well, BT Miners made it super easy and super convenient. They have a repair facility in New York, and in less than 3 weeks, I had my hashboard back up and mining. Go over and check out BT Miners for mining hardware, repair services, and hosting in the United States. Links to everything directly down below. Now back to our video. All right, so let's take a walk here and see what exactly has been going on, because I want to show you guys what we've been doing with immersion since then. And it's been, I don't know, a few months now, not a ton. So here's my dry cooler for my immersion setup. And yeah, as you guys can see, it is not running. It's actually unplugged, and it has not been running for quite a while now. And you might be like, why? You're missing out on all of these profits, and what is going on? Well, let's take a look. So step inside our shed. And here is my immersion setup. It's actually starting to get, I gotta clean in here. So this is the fog hashing system. It's a home immersion setup. If you guys are interested, I have a whole series, a whole playlist on installing this. It was a mess. The oil is unbelievable. So if I take a look in here, let me go ahead, lift this up, get this over here, out of the way on our 3070 rig here. So I took out the S19 XP. You can actually see, you see all that pink down there? That's actually thermal paste that actually ends up breaking off of the hashboard. Maybe that's some of the issue. And it ends up sitting at the bottom of our reservoir tank. And if you guys are, man, look how dirty this is. I'm gonna have to give this thing a fine cleaning. In here is actually our pump that pumps the oil out to the dry cooler. And when I remove the S19 XP from here to work on, I can't just power it back up. And you might be like, why? I don't get it. Well, you have to remember, an ASIC actually takes up place within the tank. It's actually like liquid displacement. So it actually takes up space. So when you remove an ASIC, you're actually low on oil. So I could have filled this back up with oil if I wanted to and keep running. This is an S19 J Pro. It's like a 100 terahash unit. Not profitable at all right now. Actually going to be running, I don't know, we'll see. Nice hash, Lux, maybe HiveOS on it, kind of clock it down for better efficiency. But I haven't been able to run the tank because I didn't want to just throw in the extra oil I have. It's really expensive to get by all this time. And I honestly thought the S19 XP was going to be a lot faster. So we haven't been running that, but we are. So let's go to our other shed, which is our storage shed here, and take out our cool looking Squirtle keys. Look at that. You know what controller that is? Oh yeah, only the best one. Okay, so we just use this for storage. Nothing top secret in here. So my and sorry, there isn't much light in here. I took the garden shed, turned it into a bunch of storage here. And over here is that S19 XP. I actually literally took it out. You guys would have seen it in the video, and placed it right in here, waiting. And I honestly thought it was only going to be a few weeks. Now it's turned into a few months. So this has been entirely offline. Well, that hashboard's shot, and I'm not going to spend the money to go buy another one. There are 2 hashboards in it right now. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and put it back in oil, get it back up and running, and just clock it down, you know. Won't be as high of a hash rate, but we're still going to be mining Bitcoin. Now, the team over at Fog Hashing actually went ahead. I was talking with them, talking about cleaning up the oil, and they did send me brand new oil. So huge shout out to them. I guess not really oil, it's dielectric fluid. Let's be technical here. So shout out to Fog Hashing. If you guys are interested in Immersion, go check them out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go change my clothes, because this oil gets on everything, and we're going to empty that tank of the oil with a little pump that they sent. We're going to put this unit back in, and then we're going to put new oil in, and then we're going to get back to mining Bitcoin. All right, so last time I did this, it was an absolute mess. So my thought is I have this Tupperware tub here that the ASIC was in. I have a pump that Fog Hashing had sent with the kit. We're gonna try to leave it in here because it makes a mess. I have it running into here, and the lid is kind of pinching it right here. So I'm hoping that helps to keep a bunch of this oil inside here versus splashing everywhere, which it has done many times before. And then I think I'm gonna empty the overflow tank first and then work on that one. And then I don't know, we'll see. Might turn it on to see if it pumps any oil back through. We'll have to see. Wish me luck. All right, we're making progress. Put this clamp in place here. We're slowly draining the oil out of the main tank. The overflow tank cleaned up pretty quick and nice and easy. And then, yeah, I don't know if you can see down in here, but this Tupperware has worked out great. I hope there is not a crack anywhere. I did check it the best I could because that would be an insane mess. I mean, this oil is terrible. It is not easy. Dielectric fluid, sorry. Dielectric fluid. So anyways, you can see it pumping down in there. Maybe a little bit over here, you can see it too. So we're gonna see how well we can do here. This is definitely gonna take a while, so I'll check back with you guys here when it's done. All right, mission accomplished. Let's take a look here. This thing, let me step back. Look how full that is. Whew. All right, so taking a look here, overflow tank is empty, and we did a pretty good job. Got it all the way down there. I did shift over the ASIC that was over here and actually used the tubing like a vacuum to clean up a lot of the thermal paste. Worked out awesome. So let me get the S19 XP back in its place. All right, take a look. I love the fact that Fog Hashing now has these in these tanks. Oh my gosh, so much easier. My thought also is once these are empty to pump the old stuff back in here, and then I can find a facility to dispose of them. But I think we're ready to go. I got both the ASICs in place, good to go. Spacing them out a little bit to allow the fluid to completely go around them. You can see in there as well as all around it, which works out well. Something I noticed is the C13 to C14 cables really get stiff, especially the Cat5 cable gets stiff from being in the oil. So just something that I noticed. But all right, let's pour some oil in. All right, we got both 20-liter tubs filled in here. As you guys can see, we're not quite at the top. We're actually at the top of the power supply, but we need to be just above the top of the ASIC here. And I do have more oil. I have a backup tank of about 20 liters of oil if I need it. But what I want to do is I actually want to go turn the dry cooler on, which won't circulate any oil. And then I want to turn the pump on to get it to rotate that oil, just to see how much I'm actually going to use, because I don't know how much oil's in the lines or the dry cooler or anything. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so the dry cooler has not powered up yet. It's actually temperature based. So when the oil actually gets to a certain temperature, everything will kick in the dry cooler. So let's head inside here and let's get our tank powered on. All right, got to get over this hurdle of oil. Now, we're not turning on any ASICs yet, but let's power this on. Press the button to start mining. Come on. Doesn't like me, apparently. There we go. See, it's going to show there. Now, let's wait to see what it does. The pump should kick in here in a minute. We'll give it a second. Come on! Maybe. It should be kicking on by now, because it should be rotating some oil. What are we missing here? Let's turn it off and back on. Okay. Come on. Are we missing something? Come on! All right, time to go figure out what's up. All right, guys, we have victory, which is awesome. Dry cooler is kicking on and off right now because we don't have any on miners yet, but let's step inside. It's been 2 days I've been messing with this thing and working with the team over at Fog Hashing. So huge shout out to the Fog Hashing team for helping me get this working again. Oh my word. So let me show you what it was, how I figured it out with their help. So first off, miners are in here. Oil level is just above the top there of the grates. It's a little cloudy because I'm not running anything yet. And oil everywhere. Oh my gosh. Immersion is awesome, but it's an absolute mess. And in a tight quarters like this, it's terrible. So what had happened was when I powered this on, I felt vibrations right here and vibrations on the pump, but nothing was actually getting recirculated. It's like the oil was stuck somewhere. So they did have me open that valve and I got a few bubbles out of it, but still no real success. So then finally, they recommended I undo this end, pop it off, which this is the end that actually takes the hot oil and pumps it out of the shed out to the dry cooler through the piping over here. And when I took that off and moved it to the side, it shifted the pump around a lot. And I don't know what, something was blocking it. I think it was something from underneath, because when I shifted that pump around to move this hose over, huge bubbles out the ass end over here that came out. And then when I turned it on, oh my gosh, it shot oil everywhere. It was an absolute mess. Press, maybe just tap it. Oh, Jesus. All right, holy cow. Well, we know that's flowing. Oh my gosh. But As soon as I hooked it back up, turned it on, you now see we have the wonderful waterfall here, and you see how clear that water is there? So good. So we're ready to go. So now that everything is covered in oil, dielectric fluid, what I'm gonna do is we need to get our ASICs plugged in. They both have Ethernet plugged in there, but this is, we have our cords here for the one. I'm gonna put it on its own PDU and another one on another PDU. So up top here, we can go ahead and measure out the watts. And I think I'm gonna end the video there. I would love your thoughts. I'm looking at 3 different softwares to test out here. We got Brains OS, NiceHash, and Hive OS. Would love your opinions on which one I should go with. And I'm thinking about doing a live stream and testing them out. I don't know, we'll have to see. All right, guys, that's it. Leave your comments, your laughs, feedback down below. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Today's video is sponsored by the team over at Quantum Expeditions. Bitcoin mining can be incredibly profitable, but as most of you know, doing it yourself can be complicated and risky. Unpredictable costs, equipment failures, and high energy costs make it very difficult for regular people to achieve consistent gains, let alone scaling up. Quantum Expeditions makes it easy for retail investors like yourself to participate in the vast opportunities of large-scale Bitcoin mining without ever leaving your house. Join a community where you can contribute your knowledge and feedback or learn from the experience of others. Now, for a limited time, you can invest directly in the company through an exclusive Regulation CF crowdfund and earn from the future growth in the industry. Quantum Expeditions just completed their first deployment of Bitcoin miners, 3 weeks ahead of schedule, so now is an excellent time to get involved. Come check out the Quantum Expeditions link in the description below.